Got any brushes like this? You thought you cleaned them, but they're kind of dry and crusty? So I'm going to show you my secret for cleaning my brushes out. I've tried a lot of things over the years, and this is the best thing I've found for when the brushes get really hard. I mean, look how hard this brush is. It's just like, it's like a rock. You can't even bend the bristles beyond this point. So what I do is I soak them overnight in the brush cleaner and restorer. This is from Winsor & Newton, and it's for dried acrylic and oil color, and it's also what I used in my other video to get acrylic paint out of clothing. So what I love about it is it's non-toxic and it's biodegradable, so it won't hurt anything. You can get it on your hands. In fact, I understand that this came from the medical industry. It's what they use to, when they have to glue things, like little, whatever they call those, the hospitals, you know, thingamabobs they glue on you. They use this to take it off. So, to take the glue off. Whoops, wrong size jar. Darn it. Okay, I'm gonna have to get another jar for that. I wanted to use a clear jar. I'm gonna use a tomato can for that one, but I like for you to see what I'm doing, fully transparent. So I'm going to use this one. Now the important thing is you're going to soak it overnight. Now this one, it's not too bad, but it's a very nice varnishing and glazing brush, and there's just some dried material in here that's making it a little crispy. This brush has to be extremely soft for what I use it for. I use it for glazing where I want a completely smooth layer, and if the bristles have started to stick together at all, that creates texture in the glaze that I don't want. So I'm going to just stick it in the jar. What I want to show you is that I don't want the brush cleaner to go above the ferrule. And if you don't know what a ferrule is, it's this metal part. That's the name for that part of the brush. So I don't want it to go above the ferrule because this actually can also remove the finish on the brushes. So since I have some other brushes I was showing you earlier, these just, they look clean, but they're a little crusty, crispy. I didn't have any really horrible brushes. This was the worst one, this house painter's brush. Because I try and really be good about cleaning my brushes. But the thing about acrylics is, don't feel bad. Over time what happens is, even when you're pretty careful about cleaning them after your painting session, even when they're sitting in the water, sometimes the binder in the acrylics, which is acrylic polymer emulsion, gets kind of pushed up into the ferrule, and when you wash it you get the pigment out, but there's still some acrylic medium in there. And so that's what's happened with this one. It's split the hairs. So you see how the hairs aren't forming a nice even shape like that. They're open because there's so much gunk in there. So I'm going to soak this one in a smaller amount of it so that it won't get on the handle. And I'll just throw these guys in here. These are older brushes. Not my best brushes, but you know, if you take good care of your brushes, they can last a really, really long time. So this one is a little crusty too, and that's the same size, so I'll stick that in there. And I'm going to go get a can for this one. And I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so close up. Now this is just a regular brush. This wasn't as cruddy as the other one. And sometimes if you don't have the brush comb, just using a palette knife to kind of scrape out any material. I love that Mr. Buddy is in this movie. He's purring a lot. Happy guy. So this one's pretty clean. Feels really good. After I've scraped out any material in them, then I just wash them in a sink with warm water and soap. Let's get that one. Do you remember the one I showed you that was all kind of split like that? Now, I'm going to see if we can get a good shot of the gunk coming out of here. Sometimes it's really obvious where you see just like, see there's some little bits of paint that were in there, dried and hard. So you really want to work it out, pressing with that palette knife. If you've seen my other videos, I'm always tempted to do this with my fingernails now, and it's really good that you're watching me because I won't do it. I'll use the knife. Let's try the brush comb too, just to see if that, but I don't know if you can see it, but there's gunk that's coming out of there, old dried paint. And I'm going to comb and just get as close as possible to the ferrule and work it right in. Yes. Now see, I don't know, this camera doesn't do super great close-ups, but you can see a lot of stuff coming out of there. Didn't look like it was there, but soaking it in the brush cleaner and restorer helped. Get it out. Oh yeah, there's like pink and white, all kinds of colors coming out from this brush that had been stuck in there before. And we'll go in with the palette knife again and sort of see, look at that. I have one final tip for you, and that is how to dry them. So a lot of us would tend to store them in a jar. That's how I keep all my brushes, face up in a jar or can when I'm working with them or when I'm storing them and I'm not using them. But if you dry them that way, what happens is the water on the brush slides back down into the ferrule, and that can eventually dissolve the glue. When the glue dissolves, the hairs can fall out. They become loose and they can fall out. So the best practice is to leave them lying on their sides and even over the edge of a table so that they don't get bent by gravity by pressing against the table. You can even shape them if you have a nice brush like this. You can shape it. Leave it lying on the edge like so. And there you go. Your brushes will be all ready, nice, dry, clean, and ready to use next time you paint. Enjoy!